Hi friends, this is Alex with Draw to Learn, and today we're going to learn tons of fun facts about cars for kids. This is going to be super fun. So, I hope you're excited. So let's start off with a couple of interesting news facts about cars. So did you know that there are actually some cars that fly? While I'm telling you these interesting facts about cars, we're actually going to be drawing cars. So if you want to learn how to draw a car, you can also just watch. And we're going to draw the outline of the car. We're going to color it in. It's going to be fun, this kind of cartoon style car. So anyway, back to the story. So did you know that there are some types of cars that people are making that can actually fly? Like there's this one kind of car that has these wings that fold up, and then it can drive really fast and extend or lower its wings and extend them, and then it can start to fly like an airplane. Kind of interesting. Makes you wonder what the cars of the future will look like. One thing that I'm personally really excited about is there's a company called Tesla. Tesla Motors is producing cars that are electric, and they're not just any electric cars. They're really nice cars that can drive really fast and really far, and they look really nice. They're very safe, and they also have this feature where they can drive without someone driving, where they can use computers to steer and sensors and cameras to know where to turn and how to get places, so that the drivers can just tell the car where they want to go, and then the car will drive them there. And they're actually making tens of thousands of Model 3 Tesla cars this year, which is one of the more affordable electric cars. So anyway, that's just kind of an interesting fact about electric cars and flying cars. So let's learn some more interesting facts about cars, because there's a lot of interesting facts about cars. Okay, so in 1769, that was almost like 250 years ago, there was someone who invented a mechanical vehicle or automobile. It was a steam-powered tricycle. The first internal combustion engine. So inside of a car, there's combustion, which means there's a little explosions where gasoline gets set on fire and it explodes, and it moves these pistons in the engine that makes it move. That first kind of combustion engine, I think, was created just over 200 years ago in 1807. Let's see some other interesting facts about cars. In 2010, it was estimated that there were more than 1 billion vehicles in the world. Cars, trucks, you name it. Up from about 500 million in 1986. Whoa, so there's a lot of cars. The number of cars on the road is increasing super quickly in developing places like India and China. Let's see some other interesting facts about cars. So there are about 165,000 cars made every day. Whoa, that is wild. That's crazy. That is so many cars. Can you imagine the amount of plastic and metal it takes to make that many cars? That's a lot of production. Okay. So the new car smell that you have when you buy a new car is made up of more than 50 volatile organic compounds. Interesting. It would take less than 6 months to drive to the moon by car if you were going 60 miles an hour, if you could drive through space. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here. Wow. There's once was about 20 children that were able to fit into a small smart car. That looks like a really tight squeeze. I wouldn't recommend that. The average car has about 30,000 different parts Wow, that's crazy. Did you know that cars are usually made by robots or machines instead of people? Or like a mixture of people helping to make the cars, but robots assembling them mostly. Um, Interesting. So most of the new cars that are sold in Brazil use something called ethanol as their fuel, which is made from sugarcane. Did you know that the average person in the United States spends about 30 to 40 hours each year waiting in traffic? Wow, that's a long time to wait in traffic. The first car accident that was recorded that we're aware of happened a little over 100 years ago in 1891 in Ohio. The the chances, well, statistically, it looks like about 1 in 5,000 people die from a car accident, which is really sad. And actually, I'm going to tell you a little bit, maybe talk to you more later about how to stay safe around cars, because cars are actually, they're really nice, but they can also be really dangerous. So, in fact, why don't I teach you about that right now? So, chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably a child, and cars are particularly dangerous to children if they don't know how to behave around them. So, one thing to know is you never want to go next to a car or hide next to a car or go behind the car in a parking lot. You always have to be very careful when you're around cars, because I know people who had a little child went behind their car, and then the car started moving and the child got run over, and it was really, really, really sad. And so you don't want to play in your cars, because cars can turn on at any time. They could go forwards or backwards. And people who are driving cars can't see you very well. They might not see you at all. And so it's always better to assume that someone in a car doesn't see you, and to make sure you don't go where a car could go. So it's good just to not play around cars, because it really isn't safe. And so please do that for me, will you? Just don't play around cars, because they can be dangerous. And another thing about cars is when you get older and you'll get a driver's license. So in the United States, you can typically get your driver's license when you're 16. And you can usually start driving, I think, when you're like 15 years old. So when you start driving and you have your driver's license, it's important to be careful when you drive. My driver's ed teacher, the one who helped me get my license, he told me that the number one cause of car accidents is that when people are rushing. So often people will be trying to get to their next place really quickly. And that's actually dangerous, because when you're rushing, you don't drive as safely. So when you do drive a car someday, make sure you take your time and you don't speed, and you're careful, and you drive defensively, not taking risks. Because most people I know, when they're adults, have had at least one car accident that was serious. So you want to be very, very careful. Cars are wonderful, but they can also be a little dangerous, so you have to be careful. Did you know that in Russia, so some more interesting facts about cars. In Russia, it's actually against the law to drive around in a very dirty car. Car wrecks are the number one cause of death for Americans who are under 35 years old. Wow. So that's very dangerous. Car crashes are what cause more people to die than anything else for people under 35 years old. There are more cars than people in Los Angeles. What? That's kind of hard to believe. That doesn't really make sense to me. But that's what it says on this fact sheet. Sometimes when you read things online, it's good to get multiple sources because not everything you read online is true. And right now I'm reading all these interesting facts about cars. There was a vehicle with a mileage of more than 2,800,000 miles, almost 3 million miles on one car. The world's fastest street legal car is the Bugatti Veyron Supersport, which can go about 267 miles an hour. That's crazy fast. Going on the highway is like 60 or 70 miles an hour, and that's really fast as well. All right, let's see what else here. Well, let's look here again at our drawing, see how we're doing here. So we've got this fun red car with this gray metal bumper and this smiley face there. We've got these trees. It's going down a dirt road in the forest. Maybe I should share with you an experience that I've had with cars before, or some other interesting facts that I just know from my personal experience with cars. So, you always want to buckle your seatbelt when you're in a car, because, like I said, car accidents happen. It's not too uncommon that a car accident could happen, and if you're not buckled up, it makes it a lot more dangerous, because there's been people who have gotten in a car accident where they hit a tree or another car and they flew through the window and died, and it was really, really sad. So you always want to buckle up when you're in the car. Also, it's good to not be too loud or to cause commotion and ruckus. If your parents are driving, you don't want to distract them from driving. One time I was driving a vehicle, it was actually a van, and I was moving to a new apartment. And in the back, I had these weights that were that could roll. And when I was turning, I heard all of these weights moving in the back, and I was worried about things flipping over and getting broken. And because of that, I looked back when I was turning. And I learned that looking back while you're turning a car is a big no-no, because that's very, very, very dangerous. And anyway, so I looked back because I was worried about losing some salsa, spilling it on the van floor. But when I did that, then I looked forward and I was headed right towards, I was about to drive right into this metal factory. And it was really scary. So I pushed on the brakes and I ended up hitting this 4x4 kind of real estate sign of someone trying to sell houses. And I didn't hit the factory. Luckily, that would have cost a lot of money and been really scary and dangerous. So you want to never look back when you're turning, because that can be very dangerous. You want to look where you're going. If you're backing up, you want to look back. If you're going forward, you want to look forward. Anyway, so that's just one of the lessons about car facts for kids for today's Draw to Learn lesson. I'm Alex. If you have any requests of what you want to learn about next, please comment below, and please feel free to subscribe to our channel. We try to put out new videos as often as we can. Thanks for watching, and go do something nice for someone else today. And whenever you're near a car, make sure you're careful, because cars can be dangerous. All right, thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.